Hello there, listeners. Welcome back to Bingkai Suara with me, Roy. And in today's episode, we've got a really special guest with us from the state, xambassadors. Their newest single, Half Life, just got released, and if you haven't listened to it, you're truly missing out because it's so good. So check it out. And it's also a part of their much anticipated new album, Townie, which will be out next week on April the 5th. And I, for one, cannot wait for that. And now we're here with Sam Harris from the X Ambassadors himself. Hello, Sam. What's up?
Hey, how's
How's
it
it
going?
going? Yeah, great. Yeah, thank you. How about you?
Good.
Where are you right now? Are you in New York
I'm in a
or in
parking lot. I'm in
yeah.
LA. I'm in a parking lot. Again, I've been driving around all day, so sorry for the dramatic lighting.
Yeah, no, it's
But
fine. You're good.
yeah.
All right. First off, I would like to say big congratulations on your newest hit, Half Life. I've been living a half life my whole life till I love you. It's such
Thank you.
an emotional banger. I can't even describe it with words. I mean, it's
Thank
so
you.
touching and heartbreaking and emotional, and it's making me feel all the feelings all at once. So it's so
Thank
great.
you.
Now,
Thank you.
we're gonna talk about that in a bit, but now let's talk about X Ambassadors first. Your band's name is X Ambassadors, obviously, which is like I think it's a simple, fantastic name. I mean, is there any fun story or a reason behind you came up with that name?
I wish there was. There really is no rhyme or reason to it. Ambassadors, my drummer plays Remo coated ambassador drum heads on his
Yeah.
drums, and we were looking around the room at objects, being like lamp, carpet, trying to name our band, and he looked at the drums and said, "What about ambassadors?" So we were ambassadors for a while. We put the X in front of it when we signed our record deal so that we didn't get sued by another band called the Ambassadors.
Oh,
That's
okay.
that's it. Very nothing kind of origin story,
No,
but
no,
that
it's
is what it is. It's the truth.
it is what it is, but it's very interesting, you know. But
Thank you.
at the beginning, how did you guys decide to form this awesome band? I mean, I know you guys were friends, and I know you and Casey are brothers. I mean, is there any again, is there any cool backstory behind it, or just one day you just decided to like let's put some banger music out there to the world, or is it like something like that?
I mean, I wanted to be the lead singer of a band since I was, 12 years old. That was like I saw, I think I first band I fell in love with was the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and
Mm,
I
yeah.
I just saw the camaraderie that they all had as a band, and I knew that I wanted that, and I knew that I wanted to write songs, and I wanted to be the center of attention. So that was always first and foremost, in my mind. And then I started playing music with my brother in high school. We moved to New York within a year of each other, started living together, and I met Adam. I met Adam the first year that I moved to the city, and the freshman dorms that we went to the same
Yeah.
college. And we needed a drummer. Casey plays keys and I sing, and I don't, I didn't want to, I don't want to sing and play the drum. I couldn't play the drums. So yeah, that's how it started, really, and we haven't looked back ever since. I think it takes a like a kind of group psychosis to be in a band as long as we
Yeah.
have, but something's kept us going for the last 17 years, so
The last 17 years, that's very awesome.
it's a very long time.
Yeah, but very awesome. Now,
Yeah.
uh, Half-Life, you describe it as a celebration of those who open up new passages in our hearts. I mean, could you tell us about what drew you guys into this concept and where you got such inspiration for this one?
I just love a good love song. Really.
Yeah.
I love like a powerhouse love song. Like a
Oh yeah.
power ballad love song. Like I think about like I Will Always Love You, Dolly Parton's version and Whitney
Yeah.
Houston's version, both. I think Whitney really owned that song though. I just think about something like that that's just so simple and honest and vulnerable and has a heartbreak built into it, but I think really is I think a just a good love song can just be so transcendent, and that's what I wanted to write.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, okay. So speaking of vulnerability, now that you mentioned it, the song shows some deep vulnerability, as has always been the case with most of your songs, really. Is that a difficult thing for you guys to go into, or has it been the styles that you guys want to choose from the get-go?
I mean, not from the get-go. It was something that I kind of stumbled across. I wanted to be this kind of like loud, brash rock band, and the first song of ours that really got any sort of attention was this beautiful acoustic
Yeah.
heartbreak ballad, a song called Toast on our first EP. And ever since then, I've kind of like had to rethink, okay, what are the things that actually, make what are the things that draw people to my band and my music? And it was that vulnerability that I was able to muster up. And it's scary and it's hard. It's not always easy,
Mhm.
but it really pays off in the end, I think.
Yeah, that's very sweet and that's very cool. And your new album, Townie, which will be out next week on April the 5th.
Yeah.
Uh anything you can tease us about it? I mean, perhaps the new single, Follow the Sound of My Voice, which is gonna be out this Friday.
Yeah, that's a song about my brother. And it's a very emotional, personal song. The whole record is very personal. It's about growing up in upstate New York, about growing up in Ithaca, my hometown,
Yeah.
and my version of that. I wanted to get as specific as possible with the region, and then with my experience there, and try to build something that felt like its own world. And in doing so, I hope that people listen to it, and if you grew up in a small town or wherever you're from,
Yeah.
that you're reminded of the people that you come from and the place that you come from, because those are such a part of you. They'll always be a part of you. I will always be that same 14-year-old kid who was, insecure and looking for connection,
Yeah.
who started a band, in his basement with his brother. That's always going to be me, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, that's really sweet. So it's like an homage to Ithaca and some sort of, like the place that we grew up in, like that, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, the I think around 12 tracks in Townie, right? Which I'm sure you had a
Mhm.
blast writing and making all the songs. But can you please give us some
Yeah.
tea? Which song was the most fun to create and to write?
I think the last song that we did for it was a song called Start a Band, and I really had always wanted to write a song about being in a band. And this song, we recorded it live. It was written, the same day that we recorded it. Um, and it ended up being this kind of beautiful, heartbreaking song about, kind of wishful thinking, and about
Mhm.
like, hey, maybe we could start a band, maybe we could live forever, like I've got this crazy dream, and come along for the ride with me. um Even though, I think we all know that things just don't always work out, and relationships fall apart, bands break up,
Yeah.
everything comes to an end. But I think that the having that dream in the beginning is still important, it's still beautiful, and still worth it.
Yeah, I mean, you're very right. I'm gonna be honest with you. I first found out about X Ambassadors not too long ago. It was during the end credits of Aquaman and the Last Kingdom. You did,
Oh, wow.
you did deep end with that, and I've been so obsessed with that for quite a while now. And
Oh, cool.
you guys have also been part of some of the big projects like Transformers and Suicide Squad, if I'm not mistaken, right? I
Yeah,
mean, that's
yeah.
totally awesome. And you guys have also collaborated with other amazing musicians like Imagine Dragons and Lizzo, to name a few. How has your musical style evolved since your debut? And what have been the key milestones in your journey so far?
I think it's evolved. I mean, evolved in so many ways. I think that for me, the thing that I think of first is I feel like I've become a better songwriter over the last 3 years. Something happened in me over the pandemic where I just really kind of clicked into something, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I've grown a lot, and I've learned so much from so many of these incredible people that I've worked with over the years. And that just kind of manifested itself in the last 3 years. So even though we've been a band for 17 years, for 15 of them, 14 of them, I felt like I was kind of shooting in the dark a little bit. And now I feel a bit more confident in my ability to craft a song.
Yeah. What would you say is your biggest message that you want to share with the world?
I think honesty and vulnerability is very important, and especially in all things, really. It's obviously in art, that's always gonna, I think, win. But I think if you can make something from the heart, it's gonna be a win no matter what, even if nobody hears it, even if nobody sees it, doesn't matter because you put a piece of yourself out there in the world, and that's a very brave thing to do, and that kind of bravery will just do a lot for your soul. But I also just really love the idea of making stuff for the sake of making it. It's
Yeah.
fun. It's fun to be a creative person, and if you have any sort of inclination towards that, go for it.
All right, that's so sweet. I love that. Well, that wraps up our session. It's been such a pleasure chatting with you, Sam. I'd love to have another fun conversation with you in the future, maybe with Casey and Adam as well.
Yeah.
Maybe later if we finish the tour. I wish you the very best of luck for your upcoming tour,
Thank
which
you.
I believe will also start from next week, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so break a leg. I hope I could go to one of your tours very soon. And and to all dear listeners, Half Life is out now on all major music streaming platforms, and the much anticipated album Townie is going to be available to stream on April the 5th. Once again, congratulations, Sam, and the ex-ambassadors. I really, really appreciate you swinging by here to talk with us. And for all our listeners, remember our podcast is just one click away. Ex-ambassador Sam Harris, thank you so much. I'm eagerly looking forward to immersing myself in your upcoming album and perhaps catching you live. Thanks for your
Thank
time.
you, man.
Until
Yeah. Thank you.
until our next episode, dear listeners. Take care and goodbye. See you later. Thank you, Sam.
Bye.